up guys, Terry here for Destructoid, and this week I was lucky enough to get a good hour and a half of hands-on time with Borderlands 2. They had us checking out some of the single-player missions in the game. So we started out in an area called Sanctuary, which is kind of the main city hub of the game. A little bit of a New Vegas style to it almost. You've got casinos and stuff. And we went there to meet up with Roland, and he's going to give us some intel on how we can kind of sabotage the latest of Handsome Jack's evil schemes.
If we're going to survive this, we need your help, Vault Hunter.
So obviously this is not the first time we've played Borderlands 2, but it is the first time we get to see some of the new features that they're implementing in it, and one thing they're really harping on this time around is customization. So you saw a little bit of this in the first Borderlands. You could change, I think, the color of your character's suit and their name, and now you can do all that and more. You can change the name, you can change their entire suit, you can also change their head, and you can find these rare skin and suit items around the environment. So in addition to customization, they've also added this really cool thing called Secret Stash, which are little stashes that they have in cities all over Pandora, and you can basically put items in there and trade them and share them between your own characters.
Even though you didn't bring me what I asked for, I've decided to let you use that stash to share weapons between my minions. Specifically the ones that you control. Look, it's for tweaking items between your characters.
So obviously we know that you can already trade with other characters in the game. Now you can also trade with yourself, which is very cool. And speaking to that, they've also added this thing called Badass Rank. So I'm sure during some of the footage you're seeing, you probably see these little challenge things pop up in the corner that's like, kill 50 enemies during the daylight or decapitate 10 midgets or something. Every time you complete one of those challenges, you'll get a badass token, and you can use those tokens to buy stat upgrades for yourself, things like +1 critical hit damage. So your badass points can be shared between all of your characters if you want. There's no limit, so you could theoretically have a really powerful character with a ton of badass points, and you could just be super powerful. And if you don't want to transfer that over to your new characters, you have the option to turn it off as well. So there's that. Last but not least, they've introduced this idea of failable missions. So during the second half of the demo, we end up going on a side quest for this 13-year-old girl named Tiny Tina, who's got a very interesting quest. Basically, she wants you to round up some people so that she can have a tea party. I won't bother trying to explain it, just watch this clip.
I am about to throw a tea party and the guest of honor is missing! There he is! Flesh Stick, the guest of honor. You just lure him back to my abode and I'll do the rest.
So if you recognize that voice, job well done. That is Ashley Birch from Hop fame. Her brother is obviously Anthony Birch, who wrote the game, so very cool cameo in there.
You're cordially invited, bitch! Good job, friendo. Flesh Stick skin sucked through the tunnels as we speak. Let's talk.
But yeah, basically the whole mission is she wants you to lure Flesh Stick back to her lair so she can have a tea party. And it is possible to fail the mission if you accidentally kill Flesh Stick, for instance, which I did during the demo. And when that happens, you have to go back to the person who gave you the mission and kind of request it again. So it's not like a permanent failure, but you will have to go back and ask for it again. So that was my experience with Borderlands 2. There is tons more that I want to talk about, but I can't fit it all into this video. We're going to have a full preview on our live Destructoid show that is happening today at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on youtube.com/Detoid. We've also got other videos going up today for Borderlands 2. I interviewed Randy Varnell, the game's design producer. You can find that on this channel. And Anthony was lucky enough to interview Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox. That's a good one, and you won't want to miss it. That is on youtube.com/Rev3Games. Like I said, we are your definitive source for Borderlands 2 coverage, so make sure you're subscribed here and to Rev3Games so you don't miss any of it.